Man, it's howling out there. So, yeah, we're still in Ucluelet at the dock. There's a massive southerly system hitting the coast over the next few days. So I think we're actually going to be here probably for about a week, realistically. Not only is the system stronger than anything we want to be out in, but it's also, from the south, and we are trying to get south. So it's not really going to help us do that. Here, check it out. I've got predict wind open here. This is right now. Coast is just getting hammered by this big southerly, and then it calms down a little bit tomorrow. Starts up again in the evening though. And the coast over the next few days, it sort of like dies off and then comes back with a vengeance several times. So not only is this forecast, really strong wind against the direction that we want to go, but the next leg of the journey is also actually going to be a fairly difficult one. There's not as many places to tuck in on this section of the coast from Ucluelet until we reach Victoria. There are a few little options, but we've really been spoiled for choice so far on our west coast voyage. There's just countless inlets and stuff to hide from weather, and that's no longer the case. To add to that, the Strait of Juan de Fuca at the southern tip of Vancouver Island is notorious for being rather rough. All of the tide that affects the Georgia Strait or the Salish Sea on the inside of Vancouver Island has to funnel through either that narrow channel or the narrow channel at the top of Vancouver Island. So a huge amount of water just pushes in and out of that narrow channel every 6 hours. And so if you have intense wind against intense current, the Strait of Juan de Fuca is notorious for being not a nice place to be. It is fall now. In real time as we film this, it's October. And everyone told us that in fall and towards winter, things really turn to south and the intensity of the storms increase. We've definitely seen that to be true.
When we decided to do a late season voyage down the west coast of Vancouver Island, we were warned that we were taking a gamble. September on the coast can either be beautiful or it can bring an early winter. And out here, where the full force of the Pacific Ocean slams against the coastline, a winter storm can mean serious trouble for the unprepared sailor. But we took our chances, comforted by the fact that there are so many inlets woven into this coast where we could have found shelter if we really needed to. But we got lucky. September was an unseasonably lovely month, and we mostly enjoyed beautiful weather. But now it's early October, we've made it down to Ucluelet, and the inevitable winter storms have arrived. We walked out to the lighthouse at Amphitrite Point and watched as the wild ocean slammed against the shore. Just about a week earlier, Aladino had sailed past this very point all by himself. But now the navigation markers which had guided him in were all but invisible in the raging storm. I felt the weight of history as we watched the waves slam against the rocks. This coast is nicknamed the Graveyard of the Pacific. for the ships and the souls who have been claimed by these waves. Watching from the shore, I was immensely grateful that our boat was tucked safely into the harbor, and that the weather forecast had warned us of this storm's arrival. But imagine being here in a different time, on a ship with no engine, with no charts and no forecasts, caught amidst rocks and sandbanks, wind howling, waves breaking, currents tearing the boat off course. The reason for this coast's ominous nickname is plain to see. The next day was a break in the storm. I edited a video while Aladino walked around town and got some really beautiful shots of Ucluelet. In the short time we've been here, we've really fallen in love with this place. I went to an open mic at Yuki Dog's one night and played some fiddle tunes and made some friends. And our neighbors at the dock, Kelsey and Christian, quickly became really good friends. Kelsey is a local artist with a gallery in town, and we actually already made a whole video about her and the project we worked on together that came out several months ago.
Wow, that's sweet.
That came out so well.
That's awesome.
But over the days that we were in Ucluelet, Kelsey and I spent hours talking about art, and Aladino and Christian spent hours talking about boats. Kelsey and Christian live on a Cape George 38, the larger sister ship to Magic Carpet 2.
And this is our boat, Cape George 38, sailing vessel in Njord.
Christian also underwent a massive refit on their boat, and there's a special kind of understanding between people who have done such an insane thing, so we became fast friends.
I purchased the boat in 2017, and it was an uncompleted project boat, and it was in a yard in Nanaimo, and it didn't have a mast or rig at all. Never had one, so it was a blank slate, more or less. The deck and port lights were in, and it had an engine that was uninstalled, so I had to build the interior, install the engine, all the systems, electrical, plumbing, rigging, everything from lifelines to the bowsprit. Yeah, it was a pretty extensive job. I put it in the water after owning it a year, and rigged it the next year after that, and it's been a floating project boat, and as well as an adventure boat at the same time. I've taken it up the coast of BC twice, and we sailed it from Powell River down to Ucluelet here, over the north end of the island last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've had her out off the west coast of Vancouver Island and Haida Gwaii. Often there's gales off of the west coast, so
Well, you were saying once you went out deliberately in like 40 knots or more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a downwind run, and the apparent wind never dropped below 48.
That's cool.
Yeah. And,
holy moly! That's like what we experienced the past few days, if not even more.
Yeah, it was downwind, so it was stay sail and just set the monitor up, and
and she just went.
Let her rep,
Okay, yeah. So like you'd do it again?
Oh yeah, yeah. Those are some of the most memorable sails.
Now that says something about the boats for sure.
Yeah.
Who else is caught in those conditions and says, she was in her element.
For sure.
Do it again. Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. When I was on board one night, a black bear walked out the docks and onto my boat. It was coming after my dinner. I had some.
It came onto the boat.
Yeah. I was sleeping, and then I heard something on the deck. Yeah. And I woke up and was like half asleep, banged on the ceiling like, damn otters.
Yeah, of course.
And then I heard a couple of really loud thumps, and I thought that was way too loud for an otter. So I poked my head out here, and there was a black bear just stepping off of the boat, and looked like he was coming for my dinner.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I've never heard that story before. Wow.
Like with all boats, Christian has a long list of things he'd still like to do, but the work he's already done is really beautiful. I remember when we were refitting Magic Carpet 2, and there were times it felt endless. Like the reward we were supposedly working towards would just never come. But now we're out here, meeting inspiring people who have walked along a similar path, making art and swapping stories, and as much as past me would hate to admit this, I guess it was worth it in the end.
Cool. I'm so glad that the boat is so clearly visible.
The storm came back again for another round, and we walked back out to the lighthouse, and we watched the waves crash onto shore. Meanwhile, the new alternator that we had been waiting for arrived in the mail, a piece that we really needed in order to continue our journey down the coast. Aladino installed it, and we were back in business with full power on board. So when the southerly finally died and a weather window opened up, we said a sad goodbye to Ucluelet. Bye, you guys! It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
So good. We'll see you again soon.
Yeah, farewell.
Ooh, okay. We really did fall in love with this place and the people in it. In fact, we may have been tempted to stay all winter, if it weren't for that strangely human desire to complete the journey, to close the circle, to write the final chapter of this northern voyage. Join us next week for the final chapter, the last leg of the northern voyage, as we sail into Victoria, back into the protected waters of the Inside Passage, back into familiar places, towards familiar faces, where a whole new book begins, even though this one draws to a close. As always, thank you for being here. We can't believe how lucky we are that we get to make these videos and share them with you. We are so happy that you watch them. So thank you for bringing a lot of meaning and joy to what we're doing here. As much as I love the sailing and the journey that we're on, being able to sort of create these episodes and create the art and the stories around them is what really brings me purpose and meaning on this whole voyage. And so thank you for allowing me that opportunity. The Northern Voyage hardcover book is out now. There is a link to order it in the video description. This was my project that I worked on kind of once we got back from the Northern Voyage in early November. I started work on that and I basically didn't stop until, well, actually it's still going because I'm shipping them out. So it's been pretty much nonstop on that since November. And obviously all of the photos and journal entries and all of that happened before November as well. So it was kind of the curation and pulling everything together into a book. But anyway, thank you for all of you who have ordered them. I hope that they have brought you inspiration and joy. Thank you as well to the folks whose names are now appearing on screen for always going above and beyond to make sure that Magic Carpet keeps being produced. And a huge thank you to all of our patrons, not all of whose names are listed in this list here, but all of whom make these episodes possible. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without you. We're really proud to be audience funded. We are really grateful that it's the patrons that make that happen for us. If you would like to become a patron for as little as $2 a month, you get access to real-time updates so you know what's going on behind the scenes. Then you can do that for as little as $2 a month. It's really up to you how you decide to donate. And I think with that, this episode draws to a close. As always, we'll see you next week for the final episode in the Northern Voyage. Bye for now.